मिलेगा तेरा प्यार बाबा, कहाँ मिलेगा तेरा। रूहे गुलाब कहकर जब तुमने मुझे पुकारा, रूहे गुलाब कहकर जब तुमने मुझे पुकारा, खुशबू से लगा महकने अपना ये जीवन सारा। रूहे गुलाब कहकर जब तुमने मुझे पुकारा, रूहे गुलाब कहकर जब तुमने मुझे पुकारा, खुशबू से लगा महकने अपना ये जीवन सारा। रूहे गुलाब कहकर जब तुमने मुझे पुकारा, रूहे गुलाब कहकर। क्या खूब तुम्हारा प्यार प्रभु, किया तुमने खुशबूदार प्रभु, तू ही करता मदद हर बार प्रभु, तेरा क्यों ना करूं आभार प्रभु। पल भर में बदला जीवन, सुनकर ये शब्द तुम्हारा। रूहे गुलाब कहकर जब तुमने मुझे पुकारा, रूहे गुलाब कहकर। रंग रूप और खुशबू से प्रभु तुमने किया श्रृंगार मेरा, सच में सबसे अनोखा है प्रभु दुनिया में प्यार तेरा। रंग रूप और खुशबू से प्रभु तुमने किया श्रृंगार मेरा, सच में सब।
Om Shanti. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining. It is lovely to be with all of you. I see that there are 32 people on the Zoom meeting. Can you hear me? Is my voice clear?
Yes, it is clear. It is clear.
Okay, all right. So I see a lot of people, Anish, Amit, Anju, Chandrakant, Deepak, Deeplata, Dilip, Divya, Impreet, Jaya, Johar, Jyoti Rawat, Jyoti Saxena, Lakshay, Naman, Prachi, Pranav, Pranay, Pranjali, Ruchi, Sahil, Savi, Shashank, Smridhi, Birendra, and Divya. Good. I may have missed some people, and there are some whose names are not visible. It shows like 0522 something something. That's a number, and so I don't know the names. So thank you all of you for taking time. I know it's a very busy schedule, so I'm going to unmute all of you for some time and let us kind of get to know each other, interact with each other, introduce each other, and then we will go on this journey for 2 days, which is 1 hour every day, today and tomorrow. So I'm unmuting all of you. So all of you, busy day at work today, or how was it? You had a busy day at work today? Are you able to hear me? आप लोग आज ऑफिस करके आए हैं सब लोग, और
Yes.
were you at home?
Yes, sir.
No, we went to office.
You went to office. Very nice, and thank you. So how do we interact? Do you think unmuting is a good option, or there is a chat option on your phone? You want to use the chat option? Because in unmuting, there's a lot of background noise that comes from some
Yeah,
people.
Sir, I think everyone should mute, and then whoever wants to speak should unmute.
they
Okay,
can raise their hand.
will you be able to manage mute and unmute button on your phone?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that,
I
is that
can.
comfortable for
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of you?
it's comfortable. Yes.
It's comfortable, no problem?
No problem,
Awesome.
sir.
Yeah, awesome. So that is the best. So I'm muting all of you, and you can unmute as number one. And number two, you've taken time and you are participating. Let me mute background noise. Okay, so now all of you unmute, and you have the option of unmuting yourself manually. So first of all, thank you all of you for taking time out of a busy day and joining this session. It is lovely to spend time with you, and I would like to kind of interact with you and try and make sure that this time is well spent for you guys. So I hope internet, everything is okay. You can see my picture well. You are able to hear me well. There is no problem there, I hope. Right? If there's a problem, raise your hand. Anyone has a problem there that you're not able to hear me, see me? Anyone? And if you want, you can keep your video on. If you want, you can keep it off. If it is on, then we'll be able to participate. So if there are some things where, you need to raise your hand, you can raise your hand, or I can see you nod in acceptance or nod like this to say, no, I don't agree with this. So it is better if you keep your video on. I'm seeing you in the gallery view, so I can see all of you. But if you choose to keep your video off, that's fine. I know you're at home and you don't want me inside your home, right? Or do you? Right? So yeah, so that's fine. Whatever is okay with you is okay with me. All right. So what I'm going to do in this hour or so is to attempt and make this hour fruitful to you by presenting you some new perspectives about success. So we all know success, we all have heard about success, we all are pursuing success in our life. But we really understand it in its totality, and are there some new perspectives? So success, I think, is something that really matters to you people, and that's why I thought that it'll be a good topic to talk about, and to give you a little perspective on success from a spirituality point of view. We have about 60 minutes, so we will talk for about 50 minutes, and then we'll keep the last 10-15 minutes for question and answers. That is if you're still awake. If you sleep by then and my talk puts you off to sleep, then you will obviously have no questions to ask. But if you're awake, then we'll talk, we'll kind of participate, and we'll try and see what questions you have based on the things that you hear. Fair? Is this okay with everyone? 50 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe 45 and 15? Or you want the question answers to be longer? This is okay? You can type in the chat so I can read it there.
Yes, sir. That's perfect.
That's perfectly fine. Awesome. So let us introduce ourselves a little. So I called out your names deliberately so that I know that you are there and you hear your name and you at least wake up, because I'm going to play a lot of things that will put you to sleep. So before you go to sleep, you must be awake. So I thought I'll read out your names and suddenly it'll catch your attention and you'll be awake. To introduce myself, I have about 25 years of business experience. And before that, I studied and I was a fairly decent student in school and college. And after that, I was participating in the race, right? It's called a race, right? The race of life. And I was anxious, I was competing. And while all that was happening, there was a lot of hollowness that I felt inside. I, in fact, used to go to these parties where everyone was drinking, enjoying, but I felt very hollow when I was participating in all this. And that brought me to the quest of deeper secrets of life. And in that quest of trying to find answers to life, I came in contact with Brahma Kumaris, and I really liked what I heard here. And I've become a regular student. And now my life is definitely fuller. And I thought whatever I've gained, what fullness I have, I should share with other people so that they can also have a fuller life. So that is the whole idea. And my introduction is basically, as I kind of told you, but if you still want to know anything specific, you can put it in the chat or you can do the unmute and I can share with you anything you want to know about me. Is there something? No, nothing. All right. Okay, so when I was told that, I should be interacting with my greatest failure, oh, that's tough. I think we want to talk about successes and not failures, but failures are many. Because on the road to success, you have lots of failures, and every time you fail, you bounce back. And success is really about bouncing back. So I've had innumerous failures. Because that is the path to learn. So I don't know what was the greatest, difficult to say which was the greatest, but I've had a lot of share of failures on the road as I went in these 25 years. And when I was told that, I have to talk to young professionals, I thought, what is a topic that I should talk about? And I thought that what do young professionals really think about the most? And I thought probably success is one of the things that young professionals think about, dream about, talk about day and night. And since this is the predominant thought, I thought that's a good topic to pick up. And the little problem or challenge or the insufficiency of the current method of success is that it is not getting the desired results. So how do we kind of change it so that we get the desired results? Okay, somebody is typing more than success. We think about how not to fail. Now, not to fail is also success, right? And when we go along, we will see what is the definition of success. So I thought it's a time for a deep dive and for new revelations to come out about success and failure. And young people are the right time and the right age to understand about success. Because as people get old, they go through this entire journey called life. And when they come to the end of this journey, they really understand how hollow it is after getting or achieving everything that they thought would fill them. But that time is too late for them to understand because now there are not too many years left for them to live. But as a young professional, if you understand at the early stage of your life what it is to be truly successful, then you have a lot many years where you can live that life of true success. So I think for young people to understand true success and to achieve it is going to be a life that is lived wonderfully, a life of well-being. Some people also think that spirituality has a they have a belief that spirituality takes you away from achievement and success. Spirituality means leave the world, become a Babaji, sit in a temple or a forest and do nothing. No, that's actually not true. Spirituality says achieve and achieve as much as you can, achieve as much as you want, but in a way that you get what results you desire. Right? And we'll kind of understand this as we move on. So let's watch a small movie clip to try and understand this perspective of success. So when we talk of success, the talk of success is incomplete without talking about the movie Three Idiots, right? Because this movie was made on the central theme of success. So let's see one of these clips from here.
जब उसके बच्चे इस दुनिया में आते तो सबसे पहले क्या करते? वो बच्चे दूसरे अंडों को धक्का मार के गिरा देते हैं. Competition over. The life begins in murder. That's nature. Compete or die. You also are like the coil birds. और ये वो अंडे जिनको धक्का मार के तुम लोग आईसी में पहुंचे.
Don't forget कि हर साल आईसी में 4 लाख एप्लीकेशंस आते हैं और उनमें से सिर्फ 200 सेलेक्ट होते हैं. You
और ये finished. Broken eggs. मेरे खुद के बेटे ने 3 साल अप्लाई किया था. Rejected every time. Remember, life is a race. अगर तेज नहीं भागोगे तो कोई तुम्हें कुचल के आगे निकल जाए. Let me tell you a very interesting story.
स्टोरी तो मैं बताऊंगा. हाँ. So, were you able to hear the audio? Everything was okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. So what was Professor saying? So he said life is a race, right? Second, he said, अगर तुम आगे नहीं बढ़ोगे, कोई तुम्हें कुचल के आगे निकल जाएगा. You must compete. He gives the example of the quail bird who goes in someone else's nest and breaks the eggs. And he says, तुम लोग भी इन लोग को हरा कर आगे आए हो. Right? This is the conventional wisdom or explanation or the way success is understood. Do most of you agree? You can raise your hand or tell me on the chat. Do most of you agree with what Professor said? That this is success, this is life, it is competition, it is you have to come first. So you have to displace somebody else to get your place inside. Okay, so somebody is saying true. What about the others? No, I am agreed. Okay, all right. Yes, conventionally. Disagree. Okay, yes. All right, no. Okay, not really. Okay, no. Okay, so it's a mixed bag. So almost, I would say 50% people saying yes, 50% saying no. Competition is there for sure. Is it? I don't know. So yes, we all think there is competition, but is there really competition? We need to understand. So what is success? So let me ask you another question. Are you currently successful? How many of you would say yes? Again, you can chat or raise your hand. Yes, no, yes, no, yes. Okay, very few answers. Okay, no, yes, no, all right, no. Okay, so again, it's a mixed bag, 50-50, almost 50% people saying, yes, we are successful, and 50% saying, no, we are not successful. Let us understand success before deciding, are we really successful or not? So let me tell you a hypothetical story and ask you a question at the end of it. There are 4 students in a class, and let's call them student 1, 2, 3, and 4. Student 1 is very brilliant, and he always comes first. He has the natural gift of God that his brain works very well and he does very well at studies. Student number 2 is also bright, but little less than student 1. And no matter how hard he tries, usually he's not able to beat student number 1. So one year he decides that, okay, come what may, this year I'm going to beat student number 1. And he says, let me first find out, what does the student number 1 do? So how many hours does he study? Which books does he study? Which tuitions does he take? So he does all of that, finds out, copies that, and does even more than that, because he knows that he has to kind of overtake him. So that's the story of student number 2. Student number 3 is a mediocre student, and he's okay with whatever marks he gets. And student 4 is a student who by birth has a little bit of a problem and therefore not able to study very well. So it could be a medical problem or a problem that he's not able to use his brain very well. And student 3 often helps student 4 so that the student 4 is at least able to clear the exams and move on to the next class. So this is how, let's say, the 4 students are studying in a class. So the question is, who? So what happens that this year, because student 2 works very hard and he copies student 1 and kind of does more than what student 1 does, this year student 2 comes first in the class. So my question to all of you is, who is successful out of these 4? So you can type your answer, 3, 3, 3, okay, 3. But don't you think student 1 comes first all the time, and this time student 2, not even one of you is student 2, okay? All except 1, okay, all right, interesting answer. All except 1. Why would you say 1 is not successful? 4, interesting, 3, okay. So a lot of votes for student 3. Very good. That is very nice to hear from this audience that you think student 3 was very successful, because the question to be asked is success just touching the finishing line? And if that is what it is, then it is very transient. So if you're in a race and let's say you come first in the race and you say that is success, then you succeeded only for a fraction of time. For some time you feel successful, but before and after you don't feel successful. So a lot of you said 1 is not is successful in your thought. The second question to be asked is, who would you want to be? So because a lot of people said 3 is successful, I'm assuming the answer will be you want to be 3. Am I right? You want to be student 3, most of you, or would you want to be student 1 or student 2? And I believe that student 3, you think, is a successful student because success is about making others succeed or helping others live a better life, right? And we are going to kind of understand this a little more. Because if success was only about achieving, student 3 really did not achieve much in terms of material success. He did not get the highest marks. He did not stand first in the class. But I'm happy most of you think he's successful because he helped student 4 do well, right? But a lot of people conventionally would say student 1 is successful because he stands first most of the times. And this year, student 2 is successful because he stood first. So he went to the finishing line and he is successful. So to understand success and to understand that who is successful in this class is very important. And another very important question is about student 4. Somebody said that student 4 is successful. So he's born with this little disability. Can he ever feel successful in life? That's a very big question, because is success reserved only for the people who are gifted and therefore meet the finishing line or come first in the class? Because conventionally, success is thought to be those people who are first, who are at the top, and not people who are with some kind of disability and still they are living a very, very good life based on their capacity. So again, in the chat, I see a lot of people saying, yes, student 4 can be successful. That is again very nice to know, because the truth is that even somebody like student 4 can feel successful, provided that person understands success very well. But if he's going to always compare himself with other people, yes, anyone can be successful, absolutely right. But if he's going to compare himself with student 1, student 2, even student 3, then he is not going to feel successful. Because unfortunately, success brings with it competition and comparison. And that is what we saw in the 3 Idiot clip when the professor was saying, life is a race, right? He was saying, unless you compete, you cannot win. He said that you have to replace somebody else if you want to be successful. So he was giving the example. Of the students who made it to the college, that you guys replaced other people, and then only you were successful to get admission. If you could not have competed and kind of bettered the other student, you wouldn't have come here. So there are a lot of belief systems around success, and we need to understand these belief systems for us to understand success. So what really is success, and how do we understand success? So success is largely understood as a feeling of achievement of a goal, outcome, of having done something, or of possessing a thing, person, or a title, something that has value. So people who either achieve something, achieve a goal, outcome, or they do something, feel successful. And second are people who possess something that is valuable to them. Yes, the feeling of prosperity, absolutely. So the feeling of prosperity or the feeling of possessing something is basically dependent on more. So the more I achieve, the more I'm successful. The higher I rise in the corporate ladder, the more I'm successful. The more I possess, I'm successful, right? If you think in your own mind of somebody that you think is successful, whose name comes to your mind? You might want to put it on the chat. So usually people will think of maybe people like Bill Gates, people like maybe some celebrities. Okay, Hina Das. I'm sorry, I don't know Hina Das. J.R.D. Tata. Okay, sure. Steve Jobs. There you go. Who else? Steve Jobs, J.R.D. Tata, Warren Buffett. Awesome. So you see, most of the names that are coming are people, Priyanka Chopra. Okay, awesome. These are all Mother Teresa, Abdul Kalam. Okay, all right. Sure. So these are all people who have achieved a lot. All of them. So this very clearly shows that the belief system in MS Dhoni, The belief system in general is the more you achieve, the more successful you are. Is that so? Yes? Because that's why when we talk of success, we find these names like Mark Zuckerberg, Priyanka Chopra, MS Dhoni, all these names. So more and higher is more success. So therefore, this success, higher achievement means I will have more money, I will have more cars, better cars, I will have more houses, better houses, I will have higher degrees, I will have higher posts and higher positions. Fair? So success basically means more. More is success. So, or achievement is success. Actually, success is a thought and a feeling. So success is not physical. It is not something that you can show that, okay, you know, this is success. I can show it to you. It is intangible because it is a feeling inside. And it's a nice, positive, high feeling, a good state of mind that we feel inside. So the first thing to understand about success is it is intangible, it is a feeling. Fair? So the equation currently seems to be, life in a way is like mathematics and it has equations. If our equation in mathematics is correct, no matter what problem we get, we apply that equation and we are able to solve the problem. But if our equation is wrong, then we cannot solve even simple mathematical problems because we've got our equation wrong. So it's very important similarly in life to understand what are these equations by which we are trying to solve the problems of life. If our equation of life is right, then all our problems of life will get solved. But if this basic equation is wrong, then even the smallest of the problems will not get solved. Fair? So the equation right now seems to be, when I achieve more, I feel successful, right? And it is quite evident in all the names that you spelled out when we talk of successful people. People like Mark Zuckerberg, J.R.D. Tata, Priyanka Chopra, Elon Musk, all the names that you put there, except probably Mother Teresa, were names of people who have achieved a lot. So the equation that is being used currently is the more I achieve, the more successful I am. Achievement is giving the feeling of success. Fair? Now let's check, is this equation accurate or not accurate? And also understand, why do we want to succeed at all? Why do we need success? Can't we live without success? Now, as it is understood in the world, again, the equation or the belief system is that if I'm successful, success gets me recognition and respect and good treatment from others. Yes, I mean, people usually give more recognition and more respect to people who are more successful. True. Okay. All right. So when I get thumbs up, okay. All right. True. So when I'm successful, I get recognition and respect from people, and hence I feel happy. Ultimately, I want to feel happy. But I think to feel happy, I must be successful. And therefore, when I'm successful, I get respect of people and I feel happy. Second, success gets me a sense of competence, a sense of self-worth, a sense of, yes, I did it. And I feel that I'm good, right? So it kind of fills you from inside with that feeling of capability that, yes, I can do it, right? So that's the reason we want success, because unless we succeed, we will not feel like this. Third, happiness is a result of success. So when I'm successful, I feel happy. So therefore, success is giving me happiness. And that happiness is basically a nice feeling. It's a feel nice factor. So success gives me happiness, and therefore I want to be successful, right? And like somebody said, it gives me a sense that I have amassed a lot, so I'm secure and I will be able to lead a good life. So that comfort of well-being, that I am protected, I have enough. Now these are absolutely how this seem, and most of us see this in the world around us, but we really need to dive deeper to evaluate if these are actually correct. If we dive deep, our deep dive will reveal that we want to feel nice, have respect, uh, feel a sense of well-being, feel happy, worthy. All of these, which are again feelings, because we are actually souls, and souls feel, the body doesn't feel. And the inherent nature of the soul is to feel abundant, fulfilled, जिसे हिंदी में कहते हैं भरपूर. So that soul inside us wants to feel complete, wants to feel capable, wants to feel bharpoor, wants to feel nice, wants to feel respected. And we'll understand this a little deeper and better as we go along. So this soul, when it does not feel so, it does not feel nice, it does not feel respected, it doesn't feel that well-being, that happiness, then it tries to get it from outside. Because there is a void in the soul, and the soul doesn't know how to fill that void. So it goes outside and it brings things from outside to try and fill that void. And that those things that the soul is trying to bring from outside is achievement, objects. And we are trying to fill that void of the soul so that the soul can feel complete, content, and positive. So this is why the soul wants success. And it wants success because it is its inherent nature to feel complete, to feel abundant. Okay? So this is the reason why all of us have a yearning for success. But we also need to understand, is it really working for us the way we are trying to do it? If it was working, then we would have had some results, and we need to check, do we have the results or not? So most of us pick these belief systems because that is what we saw happening around us, and we thought this is right, and nobody showed us an alternative. So if we were really successful with all these achievements, we would be constantly happy, relaxed, and comfortable. But we are not. Actually, most of us are stressed, fearful, having hypertension, anxiety, depression. You see, all these things are on the rise in the society. So if the way we are attempting success and we are actually getting all these achievements was to fill us inside, we would not have these things. And when after achieving everything outside, the soul still feels hollow inside, it is trying to fill that void with a feeling of high from cigarettes, alcohol, sometimes drugs, gambling, partying. We want to get a high on these things. So why is success not giving me that high and that feeling of completeness, fulfilled? And why is it that I need substance abuse? So there is something that is not working somewhere, and we need to understand and correct that. So like we saw in the video of Three Idiots, when success is about having success, having more money, having better position, having more degrees, it will obviously lead to stress, comparison, competition, jealousy, insecurity, and fear. Because I'm constantly comparing myself with other people. I'm not looking at my capacity. And I'm trying to see, am I ahead of him or he's ahead of me? And you check yourself in your daily lives, in your profession or career, or even in life. Are you constantly seeing, is my house better or is his house better? Is my car better or his car better? Or are my clothes better or her clothes better? And basis of all these things, we decide who is more successful. So there is constant comparison, competition, and therefore jealousy, therefore fear, and all these things. So the way we are trying to attempt to succeed today is giving us a temporary feel good feeling. It is very transient, very temporary, and very dependent. A person with so many negative feelings of anxiety, of fear, of insecurity, competition, jealousy would not feel nice, cannot feel nice. Because for a person to feel nice, the person has to just have that happy feeling and not the negative feelings. And if these are the feelings of any successful person, the person is not really successful from inside, because the person is not feeling what a successful person should feel. So we have to understand that what we are doing right now gives us what is called a swing state. It does make us feel happy for a very small time, very small fraction of time. And then suddenly the pendulum swings to the other extreme. And in the other extreme, we are spending a lot of time in the negative feelings. So rather than have a life like this, can we succeed in a way that we are going to be positive all the time? Do you think it's possible or not possible? And do you agree that we have the swing state and we have positive and negative feelings, even when we think we are successful or when we think we are not? What is your thought? Yes. Okay. So I see some of you are still awake, right? You're typing messages, right? Good. Awesome. Okay. Very good. So how do we resolve this problem? So the problem really is, if you look at the current definition, understanding, belief of success, we will see it is unidirectional. Now, what does that mean? All the names that you said of the successful people, do you see something very common in all of them? That all of them succeeded or achieved in one dimension. What is that dimension? Can you write on the chat? Most of the names that people named had achieved on one single dimension. What was that dimension? Fame, money. Okay. Anyone else? Craft. Okay. All right, sure. Feeling happy, materialistic stuff. Okay. Yeah, so there is nothing wrong with materialistic stuff, by the way, huh? And spirituality is not against materialism. Hard work. Okay, I'm not sure about hard work. Success. Okay. So most of them were unidirectional in their achievement because they had achieved in their careers or business or in their place of work, right? And second, if you see their success is transient. Third, it is coupled with negative feelings of comparison and competition and jealousy. And fourth, it makes us feel exhausted as if we are running in a race. So that's why the professor in Three Idiots said, life is a race. Now imagine if somebody is running and running and only running and always running, how would the person feel? Nice? Happy? No, exhausted, right? So that's why the current way of succeeding leaves us very exhausted. Now, what do we do then? Really, life is about making informed choices with understanding. Making informed choices with understanding. Do we make choices in our life every day? So let's talk of a career, okay? What are the choices that we are making? Taking a night shift job or a day shift job. Has any one of you made that choice? I made that choice in my life. I got an offer for a night shift job, then I declined it. I did, okay. So that's a choice that we make. I want to do a day shift job or a night shift job. I want to work on the weekends or not work on weekends. A choice that we make. I want to work for 16 hours in a day or work for 8 hours in a day. Choice that we make. I want to relocate without my parents to the place of work. A choice that we make. I want to eat packed food at work every day, which comes from some place that I don't even know, which I found on one of the apps. A choice that we make. Is that a choice most of you are making? Eating ready-made packed food from some place that you don't even know, right? No. Okay. Does anyone make that choice? Maybe, maybe not. For some period I did. Okay. Yes. Hate the job or love it is a choice. Are forced by the situation. No, my friend, the choices are never forced. It's a choice. Yes, the situation is there, but you always have a choice to say no and walk away from it. Take jobs for money or for satisfaction. So sometimes we have a choice. We have two jobs. One will give me a lot of money. The other will give me a lot of satisfaction. Which one do we choose? It's a choice, right? There are no right or wrong answers, but what we are trying to understand by this choice is that life is about making choices. We always have two alternatives, if not more. Always. Never are we in a situation that there is no choice. Never does it happen. We always have at least two choices, if not more. And then we choose. And based on our choice, we have a outcome. Yes? So if we choose this, we have a corresponding outcome. And if we choose the other thing, we have a different outcome. Fair? So for example, if somebody chose to work a night shift job, what is the outcome? Can you tell me on the chat, please? If somebody chooses to do a night shift job, what is the outcome? Bad health. Okay. What else? Deeplata seems to be the only one awake. What about the others? Still sleeping? Or you don't know how to chat? No personal life. Okay. Fair. Why would, so, I mean, everyone is telling me, oh, now there are too many messages that I couldn't read. Anyways, good, good. Everyone woke up. Very nice. I want you here again tomorrow, by the way. Do you know that? So if I make you go to sleep today, you will not come back tomorrow. Are you going to come back tomorrow or no? Yes. Okay. Yeah, I know you want to please me right now, but I don't know what's in your heart. I see you back tomorrow. All right. So I want to tell you, so undoubtedly, okay. Thank you, Impreet. Everyone said that, the choice that somebody made to do a night shift job had bad outcomes, right? Everyone talked about on the chat the negative outcomes, bad health, no personal life, no social life, rah, rah, rah. Why would somebody make a choice like that then? There must be something good in it also. And that is dollar, 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 money, 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 right? And career, absolutely. There are so many people who are making that choice, right? So we are making choices, and based on our choices, we have a corresponding outcome that happens. Fair? That is the story of life. Now, the problem has happened is that if money is over prioritized over body, the outcome is a lot of dollars, maybe rupees, but high heart attacks, diabetes, hypertension. Yes, we see all these on the rise. If career is prioritized over mind, what is the outcome? We become the CEO, we become the best we can be in our career, but it comes with mental illnesses, stress, anxiety, depression, fear. And again, you will see all these things are on the rise in the society today. There are statistics to show diabetes and mental illnesses are becoming like a pandemic or an epidemic, and they have a huge proportion. 1 in every 4 suffers from mental illness and diabetes. That means every family, which is a family of 4, has at least one person who is either mentally ill or has a physical health problem like diabetes, right? Now, these are result of some choices that we made in our life, right? So this choice and outcome is also reflected in the karma philosophy. And the karma philosophy says, as you do, so shall you reap, right? So that's what karma philosophy is also trying to say. So what I'm trying to do here is to show you alternate paths and alternate outcomes, and then leave you to choose. But probably you may know or may not know the alternate path, and my attempt is to show you the alternate path, right? You may choose the second path, or you may choose somewhere in between. So success is about living a good life, a life of well-being. And if you really look at life and you want life of well-being, life is like a chair with 4 legs. Okay. Now, let's say you were to sit on a chair which has one leg which is very long and the other legs are very short. Would that chair be comfortable? No? Okay. So let's say we make 2 legs long. The 2 legs remain short. Will that chair be comfortable? No. All the 4 legs have to be equal for the chair to be comfortable. The same is the case with life. Life has 4 legs, and unless all the 4 legs are equal, the chair of life is not comfortable. Right? And what are the 4 legs? They are called in Hindi, very easy to remember, Tan, Man, Dhan, Jan. Tan stands for the body, Man for the mind, Dhan for the wealth, and Jan for our relationships. Very easy to remember, right? Now, these are the 4 legs. Now, which is the leg that we mostly spend our time, effort, energy, focus on? Can you tell me on the chat out of these 4 legs? Tan, Man, Dhan, Jan. Which is the leg? Money, 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 dhan, 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 everyone's answer. Unanimous. Absolutely. So this one leg became very long and the other legs became very short because this money is coming at the cost or the expense of Tan, Man, and Jan. And we'll understand why. So it has become a lopsided chair, and therefore that chair is not comfortable. So our life is not comfortable, right? And these 4 legs are interconnected with each other, and we'll understand this a little more as well. So till the time our focus remains on wealth, money, achievement, we are neglecting the others. And there is a law, spiritual law, which says wherever attention goes, that thing, energy flows and that thing grows. So our attention went on the wealth, so that thing grew. And when that thing grows, energy flows, that thing grows. So we got a lot of wealth, a lot of money, but no Tan, Man, Jan. And the life chair is very uncomfortable. And then we say we are successful, right? So how is a lot of money giving harm to the body and to poor relations? Have you seen rich people who have a lot of diabetes and hypertension? These two are the real epidemics right now, hypertension and diabetes. People who are very rich but very jealous, a lot of anxiety and fear. People who are very rich but divorced, living away from their parents, dumping their parents in a village. People who are very rich, but they take to alcohol, gambling to feel nice. Right? So why this is happening? Because our attention and focus went on one leg and that one leg grew, but the others, it came at the cost of the other legs and other legs became small. Now this cannot be success. This is not success. Why we did this was because we had a faulty equation in our mind, which said with money, if we have money, with money, I can buy health, happiness, and relationships. Is this true? With money, can you buy health? You can buy medicines, but you can't buy health. With money, you cannot buy happiness. You can buy comfort. You can't buy happiness. With money, you can buy the presence of people, but you can't buy relationships. So what is the message of spirituality? The message of spirituality is make all the legs of the chair longer. Yes, sure, you should, but all at the same time, not one at a time. Right? So that's what I said, achieve करना है, बहुत करना है, खूब करना है, लेकिन ये care करनी है that achievement is not coming at the cost of my mind or my body or my relationship. That is holistic success. Fair? अब सब लोग कहेंगे, where is the time? अभी भाई हमारे से करियर तो संभालता नहीं, आपने 3 चीज और डाल दी संभालने को, किधर से संभालें? How can we do it? Now, again, the good thing or the beauty about this is this does not need time. It just needs the right attention and to get your priorities right in your mind. It's just about prioritization, right? Because all the other things are intangibles. They don't take time. So it is like you have a glass of water that is full, which is the glass of happiness. When we get up in the morning, that glass is full. Now we go during our daily activities, do everything, achieve, succeed, earn money, just taking care that the glass remains full, it does not become empty. And that glass of happiness is my first priority. To keep that glass of happiness full does not need time. All it needs is prioritization. All it needs is attention. So once we understand that this glass of happiness is my first priority, and I will not do anything that compromises the glass of happiness while I'm trying to achieve and earn money, then my chair becomes balanced and life becomes beautiful, right? And all these four tan, man, dhan, jan are interconnected. So when we do one, all others will start falling in place automatically. So when we keep an attention on our mind and our mind is calm, it is happy, this happy mind automatically gives good vibration to the cells of the body and the body becomes healthy. And because the mind is happy, whichever human being we will come in contact with, we will have very good relationships. So our tan, our jan, and our man, all three are good. And the wealth will also automatically follow. So the right way of holistic happiness is this. The other concept that I want to introduce is about the tree of life, right? So life is like a chair, it's also like a tree, to understand it. Now, the tree has different branches, right? And one branch is money, professional success, achievement. The other is our body and health. The third branch is tan, man. So the second is man. And the fourth branch is relationship. And it has some other branches also. Now, what we are trying to do, we are trying to go to one of the branch, which is achievement or money or success. And we are trying to make sure that this branch does very well. So we are standing next to the branch. We are trying to clean all the leaves. We are trying to clean the branch, and we are trying to make the branch very beautiful. Will the branch become very nice? And will the tree become healthy? No. For the tree to be healthy, you have to pay attention to the roots and to the seed. So what is the root and the seed of the human life? Can you tell me on the chat? Anyone? What is the root or the seed? Our root is the soul. Wonderful. Oh, soul. Awesome. Awesome. Oh my God. Everyone says soul. You should have told me before. This class wasn't required then. I did all this effort only to tell you we are the soul, and you already knew it. Awesome. Very, very nice. So the root is the soul. And when since you already know this, you will also understand that if we water the root and we take care of the seed, the entire tree will become healthy. And when the entire tree becomes healthy, we automatically have wealth, which becomes very nice. We automatically have health, which becomes very nice. We automatically have
Request you all to kindly wait for some time until the glitch is sorted, and then we'll get back.
I'm sorry. There's rain and everything, so my internet went down. Can I continue? Is it okay? Can everyone hear me? Okay, all right. So I was saying this tree of life is about the seed, right? So when we take care of the seed, all the branches of the seed will become healthy. And this is overall well-being, right? So when we take care of the seed, the soul just makes sure the soul goes out and tries to achieve at work. The soul goes out and tries to succeed in business, try to earn money. So when the soul is healthy, all these will become automatic, healthy, effortless. And this balance of all the branches of the tree doing very well bring what is called well-being. Okay. So I will, it's almost 9:15. So I'll just take the last story and then I'll open it up for questions. So this is a story of two people who were trying to do business. Okay. And both of them thought that we'll become apple vendors. So both of them bought consignments of apples, and their consignments had some good apples and some rotten apples. Now, the first businessman, what he did was he created small little, जिसको पेटी बोलते हैं, small boxes of apples. नीचे सारे गले हुए apples डाल दिए, और on the top he put all the good apples, and he started selling them. The second businessman, he sorted all the apples, he discarded all the bad apples, and sold only the good apples. Who succeeded? The first one or the second one? Second. Come on, the first guy earned money. How did the second one succeed? Why do you say so? The first guy was able to sell so many apples, earn a lot of money. The second guy only sold 10% of his apples, 90% were rotten. Why do you say the second guy? Yeah, he didn't cheat, I understand. But what is success? Second one earned blessings. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. No guilt. Okay. Awesome. Very nice. Actually, this class wasn't required. Yeah. So very, very right. The first guy earns money, but he earns a lot of opposite of blessings. And the second guy earns blessings because whoever buys his apples opens the box and they get very, very good quality apples. So in the short run, it is businessman one who earns money, the businessman two earns less money. But real success is of businessman two, because in the long run, as time goes by, the customers will come back to businessman two and not go to businessman one. So even in the monetary terms over a period of time, the businessman two will start earning more. This is one aspect. The second aspect is, like you rightly pointed out, business two earn blessings. What is the use of blessings? When money comes with blessings, then that money gives sukh, happiness. And money or success that is earned with hurt, with jealousy, with competition, with all the other negative feelings never gives happiness. So true success, sustained success comes from character. Businessman two had character. So true sustained success comes from character, not from achievement. Fair? So looking at the time, I will stop here for today. There are many other things that we want to talk about, but we will talk about it tomorrow. I will open up the forum, unmute all of you for questions. Please try to not have any background noise so that others can hear your question and your questions can be answered. Fair? Okay, actually you can unmute yourself. Whoever wants to ask the question, please unmute yourself and ask a question. Rather than unmute everyone, it'll become a mess.
Sir,
Nimish bhai, Om Shanti. I'm Deepak.
Om Shanti, Deepak bhai. Yes.
Nimish bhai, matlab being a Baba's student, so I understand, I can connect with your first statement that there is no competition, but again, I mean, sometimes there comes a lot of difficulty because in my corporate world, there is often told that, you have to You have to compete with this, you have to compete with this team, you have to compete with this individual, and then only you will be considered as a successful individual. So how come, how can one make a balance between these two things? I mean, understanding what it is, and I hope that you got my question.
Sure. So Deepak Bhai, as I look at it and understand it, competition is a belief, right? Now somebody else may have that belief that yes, there is competition. But what I have to do is I have to check within myself, what is my belief? Is my belief that there is competition, or is my belief there is no competition? Competition basically means that only one person can come first, or one person can achieve marks. So is it possible that in a class, two people come first? Let's say the highest marks in a class are 95% and three people get 95%. Can all three people be called first in that class? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So competition is when, because of one, I cannot achieve. That is called competition. But if both can simultaneously get 95% marks, or both can simultaneously come first in the class, then actually there is no competition, right? And the problem with the concept of competition is that we start competing, we start comparing, and we will always have a negative mindset if we are in this race called competition. So let people think there is competition or not, but if I believe that there is no competition because I understand this, I will be saved a lot of negative feelings in my life, and therefore I can enjoy my success. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes, very much, very much. Thank you so much.
Who else wants to ask a question? Whoever is awake can ask. People who have slept, how will they? Questions? I'm sure, yeah.
Sir, I
Please,
have a question.
Please.
It is seen that some people who are not having big say happiness, and they are success. And people are earning the money with cheatings and all, but still they are having the well life. What is the reason behind that?
Right. Smriti, what happens is, on the outside, we feel they have money. Of course, they have money, right? But people who have earned money by wrong means or whatever, they may seem to have money. They may seem to have the comfort. Please understand, money gives us comfort and not happiness. So what money can buy is a house, right? But it cannot buy a home. Money can buy us a car and the comfort of a car, but money cannot buy us happiness, right? So all that money that they buy through wrong means will give them a lot of money is physical, and it will give us physical comfort. But happiness is an intangible feeling, and that can only come if the money was earned in the right way. So because the money has been earned in the wrong way, it comes with a lot of what is called opposite of dua, and therefore it cannot give happiness to those people. So we don't know whether those people are happy or not. Only they know inside their heart whether they're happy or not. Yes, they have a lot of possessions and comforts.
Okay, that is their wholesale outer life that they are happy with.
They're not happy. The happiness is a different word. They have possessions. The right word is possessions. Yes, they have a lot of possessions.
Thank you, sir. Om Shanti.
Shanti. More questions? Anyone? Yeah, Jyoti, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself.
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
Like you said that, success is all about, understanding that, we are all our souls, and, we derive our own inner happiness, and then we become successful. Because, running around that, we have to compete with the other person, and then, getting that negative feeling in our mind, it actually, divert our way of achieving something in life or being successful. So at times when we are working and we are putting our work and we are doing our work diligently, sometimes our bosses or colleagues, they put us in that kind of situation, when we feel a little negative and our emotions got downsided and we feel that we've been ignored or something like that. So how to divert our mind from body to a soul and then suddenly get back to that kind of a feeling that we are souls and I should not think about that person like in that ways. So I think it's a very normal thing for anybody who's been working and who wants to become successful. So it's a very normal thing which happens in every atmosphere.
Sure. So good question, Jyoti. I'm sure a lot of other brothers and sisters on the call go through all this because other people, we are constantly interacting with other people. And when we are interacting with other people will behave in the way that they want. They can, criticize us. They can say different things to us. They can choose not to promote us. They will behave in their own way, in the way that they think is right. Now, what spirituality teaches us is how we can remain mentally stable when the other person is doing what they're doing. And this is the whole concept of spirituality, or the outcome of spirituality, that we are able to remain stable in spite of the situations and behaviors of other people. And for this, what is required is a process that is called Raj Yoga meditation. So tomorrow, Ruchi Behen will be kind of introducing herself about Raj Yoga meditation. So if you go through that, the basics of those Raj Yoga meditation course of spirituality, that course will teach you how we can program our mind to remain stable despite what is happening outside in terms of situations and people. So once we learn that process, once we learn that technique, then we are able to remain stable despite what is happening outside. It has to be learned. I mean, I can't give you an answer in words. You have to learn that technique.
All right. Thank you so much.
Prashant, you want to ask a question? Please go ahead, unmute yourself.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Is it wrong to compete, or find the desire, find the happiness of seeing, for example, competitive sports as well? We find that happiness to see a possibly game. So is it wrong to really compete?
Okay, fair. So there are no rights and wrongs, Prashant. Like we kind of said in the presentation, it's about choices and outcomes related to those choices. So one choice is to live by a belief system of competition. Competition is a belief system, right? What exactly is competition? Competition means you and I are in a race and only one of us will win. That is competition, right? So the moment we create a normal journey into a competition, so I think a lot of people are talking about competition. So let me kind of just add with an example. Let's say all of us sat in our cars and went from Delhi to Jaipur for a joyride. I hope all of you are from Delhi. Okay. So let's say we are going on this joyride from Delhi to Jaipur, right? With our families in the car. Now we are enjoying, we are partying, we're having chips in the car, we are listening to songs, right? We are talking to our kids and our wives. We are eating on the way, and we are driving comfortably to Jaipur. The destination is the same for everyone, Jaipur, right? Is there competition? There is no competition. Now, all of a sudden, all of us decide, okay, let's race. Let's compete. Who reaches Jaipur first? Okay. And all of us now start looking at the other's car. Where's the other guy? Okay, let me speed. Let me see how can I overtake this car, right? That's what will happen the moment we get into that mindset that okay, we are competing. There's a competition between us.
Right.
And suddenly the behavior while in the car changes. And rather than enjoying with our family, listening to music, eating sandwiches and popcorn, we have suddenly now focused on the road, looking at who's where, tense on the steering. So the journey experience changes. We will all reach Jaipur. Let's say you reached before me. Fair, no problem. but our experience on the journey from being enjoyable became tense. That is what competition does. Even if we had thought there is no competition, we would have still reached Jaipur. Even after thinking we are competing, we will still reach Jaipur. But the experience of the journey changes when we think there is competition or no competition. Does that help you understand?
Right. It does. It does. Yeah. Thank you.
So competition is a belief in the mind. We decide, okay, we are competing and somebody will come first, somebody will come second. Actually, there is no competition.
Right.
Well, you mentioned about sports. Now, in sports, yes, there is a prize for coming first, but why tag our happiness to the prize? And therefore, in my presentation, I gave the example of student 4. Let's say I am in a race and, God has not given me a very athletic body. And I know I will not come first. I know I'll barely finish the race. Don't I have a right to feel happy about having participated in the race? But if the sense of competition is so high, then I will feel very disgruntled about having come last in the race. So competition is really okay. We can still say that in a race, in a sport, somebody will come first, somebody will come second, somebody will come third. But it's not competition. Why it's not competition? 2 people can simultaneously come first in that race. 2 people can reach the finishing line at the same time. Because one is achieving, I am not deprived. In competition, what has to happen? Because of one, the other has to get deprived. Then it is competition. Otherwise, there is no competition.
Right. Okay.
Okay, Pranay, Jaya, Prashant, shoot. Any one of you.
Sir,
Yes.
hello, good evening, sir. Yeah,
Good
sir,
evening.
my question is, I can ask, hello?
Yes, please go ahead, Jaya.
Yeah. So, sir, like I'm working in a company, so if we get appreciation, so we go beyond and do feel like doing more. But my question is, why our heart craves for that appreciation? Because if our manager won't appreciate, then we will feel like dull. No, we don't want to do work. We are not getting appreciated. But why that craving is there in our heart for appreciation?
Good question, Jaya. So it is like we mentioned in the presentation, when our inside is hollow, then we try to fill that inside from things outside. So because our self-worth is low, we need appreciation and approval of others to fill that hole in the soul, and we want to feel nice. So if you want the craving of appreciation to go away, without outside, from inside, you have to fill the hole of the soul. Right? You have to make the soul complete, which is what Raj Yoga meditation does.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Pranay.
ओम शांति सर.
ओम शांति.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था, जो हमारा एक एग्जांपल अभी आया था कि 2 एप्पल बॉक्सेस के साथ 2 व्यापारी हैं.
Yes.
So I just want to understand why there is a situation where let's say दोनों बंदे के पास इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ एप्पल थे, एक के पास इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ खराब भी थे दोनों के पास. बट व्हाट इफ की देयर इज अ लास्ट सिचुएशन, जो सेकंड हमारा फार्मर है या सेलर है, उसके पास उतनी ही क्वांटिटी है टू सरवाइव द फॉर दैट डे or to purchase the product for another day. So in that case, the first farmer sell off their whole products and earn the sufficient amount so that he can purchase the product for tomorrow. Now the second farmer, if he sells only 10% of his apple, his or her apple, तो वो कल के लिए नहीं ला पाएगा. ऐसी थॉट्स अगर उसके मन में आती है, then in that situation उसको क्या करना चाहिए?
देखिए, जो हमने बात करी अबाउट कैरेक्टर, राइट, अबाउट ऑनेस्टी इन बिजनेस, अबाउट वैल्यूज, वो हैप्पीनेस लाती है, वो लॉन्ग टर्म में मनी भी लाती है. तो अगर शॉर्ट रन में मैं, let's say अगर मैं वो फार्मर हूँ, now these are very hypothetical situations, let's say I am that second seller and I am very honest and I have very high values, and I know if I sell 10% of my apples, I will not have enough money to buy apples for tomorrow. what I can do is I can go to the seller of apples and tell him, boss, आपके या मैंने जो 90% apples कल खरीदे वो गंदे निकले, and you can see them, they're there in my shop. I want to buy on credit new set of apples from you today, and once I sell them, I will be able to pay you money. Because उसकी honesty होगी, उसके vibes अच्छे होंगे, उसको वो credit पे apples मिल जाएंगे. So what we are trying to tell you by this example, and we can have n number of permutation combinations to it. But the moral of the story is कि जहाँ पर हम अपनी values पे stick करते हैं, अपने character पे stick करते हैं, तो success अपने आप हमारे पास आती है. In a way, this was also shown in the movie Three Idiots.
Right, sir. But one of my friend here only, he asked during our session, कि let's say जैसे evening और day shift की बात हो रही थी, what if any person got the information from the management, you have to do the night shift. I don't want to do the night shift.
Sure.
Then in that condition.
Sure. So देखिए, we are making choices every moment. We always have a choice, right? अगर मेरा मैनेजर मुझे कह रहा है आपको नाइट शिफ्ट नहीं है, या मेरी जॉब अब डे शिफ्ट से बाय डिफॉल्ट पूरी टीम नाइट शिफ्ट की जॉब हो गई, द चॉइस दैट आई हैव इज आई वैल्यू माय बॉडी मोर देन माय दिस पर्टिकुलर जॉब, एंड देयरफॉर आई एम लीविंग दिस जॉब एंड आई विल हंट फॉर अनदर जॉब. दैट्स अ चॉइस. उस चॉइस का आउटकम रेपरकशन क्या है? दैट आई विल बी जॉबलेस फॉर फ्यू डेज, आई विल हैव टू स्ट्रगल टू फाइंड अ जॉब. Now, if I'm okay with that outcome, I will make that choice. But if I'm not okay with that outcome, I will make the choice of working in night shift. तो दो choices हैं, दो outcome हैं, हमें choose करना है. There are no right or wrong. ये नहीं कि ये सही है, ये सही है. हाँ, ये जरूर है, नाइट शिफ्ट में काम करोगे, बॉडी थोड़ी खराब होगी. डे शिफ्ट में जाओगे, थोड़े दिन जॉबलेस रहोगे, लेकिन बॉडी बच जाएगी. अब आप चूज करो क्या करना.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Jimit. Jimit, you can unmute, or Pranay if Jimit is not able to unmute.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, Jimit, I can hear you now.
Om Shanti, sir.
Om Shanti.
I have a question, like how to do goal setting. My business is going good. I'm earning good money, giving good salaries to employees. But I don't know the direction, like where to reach. So I want to do goal setting, and then I want to achieve this. But I don't have any mentor or particular formula to set the goal.
Sure.
So
Jimit, Jimit, I understand what you're going through and the help that you need. Fortunately or unfortunately, the session is trying to address a spiritual perspective of success, and we are not really talking from a business perspective. So probably this is not the right platform to give you business related advice. So,
and one more thing, I have a problem, like मुझे गिल्ट रह जाता है, अफसोस हो जाता है कि पहले मैंने ऐसा किया होता तो मैं आज यहाँ पे हो जाता है, या मैंने ये अचीव कर दिया. तो मुझे ये गिल्ट हो जाता. फिर मैं जब भी फ्री होता हूँ, फ्री टाइम में मुझे ये गिल्ट याद आता है और मुझे अफसोस होता है. तो फ्री टाइम में एंजॉय करने के बजाय मेरे को अफसोस हो रहा है. So what is the solution for that?
Sure. A lot of things that a lot of you are asking, which are mental, mind-related issues. I will not use the word mental. Mind-related issues, because the mind creates a set of thoughts which are either influenced from the outside, or if not influenced from the outside, it starts thinking negative. You will have to undergo the Raj Yoga meditation course a little bit, which we will start from Monday. So stay patient with your questions and join us from Monday on the Raj Yoga meditation course, where we talk about mind management. So these questions will appropriately be addressed in a session on mind management. How do we manage our mind? Right now, our focus is really to talk about success and holistic success, and how do we become successful.
Okay.
Okay, Jyoti, please go ahead. Jyoti, I think are you there? You want to ask a question, or you already asked, I think?
ओम शांति सर.
ओम शांति.
सर, मेरा सवाल ये है कि आपने जैसे बताया कि 4 पिलर है हमारी लाइफ के.
हाँ जी.
धन एंड चंद,
हाँ
है ना? तो मुझे ये इशू है कि जैसे अगर मन और तन से मैं मतलब परेशान होती हूँ या स्ट्रेस्ड होती हूँ, तो मैंने बहुत बार मेडिटेशन ट्राई किया, बहुत स्पिरिचुअल गुरु को सुना, तो उस समय के लिए या थोड़े समय के लिए मुझे वो समझ में आता है, और उसके रिजल्ट्स भी बहुत अच्छे आते हैं। लाइक मैं मेडिटेट भी करने लगती हूँ और फिर मुझे जो चाहिए होता था वो अचीव भी हो जाता है। बट फिर ऐसा क्यों होता है कि थोड़े ही समय बाद फिर वो चीज हमसे छूट जाती है एंड फिर हम फिर से वही साइकिल बार बार घूमते रहते हैं?
Jyoti, this also falls under the mind management purview, but I'll answer it in short. देखिए, माइंड के कुछ पैटर्न्स होते हैं जिनको हम संस्कार बोलते हैं या हैबिट्स बोलते हैं, और हैबिट्स चेंज करने का एक प्रोसेस है, और उस प्रोसेस से आप अंडरगो करेंगे तब पुरानी हैबिट रिप्लेस होकर नई हैबिट आएगी। जब तक वो प्रोसेस कंप्लीट नहीं होगा तो ओल्ड हैबिट वापस आके नई हैबिट को डिस्प्लेस कर देगी। तो अगेन इसको हम जो माइंड मैनेजमेंट का चैप्टर होगा इन राजयोगा मेडिटेशन कोर्स मंडे ऑनवर्ड्स, उसमें इसको और डिटेल में लिया जाएगा। यू पार्टिसिपेट इन दैट एंड यू विल गेट टू नो हाउ टू डू दिस।
ओके सर।
ऑलराइट, थैंक यू। इमप्रीत।
Very good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for a wonderful session. And my question is, I always have a habit of competing with myself. But at a workplace, it's generally seen that our colleagues compete with us. They have a feeling of jealousy. Then they do n number of things to pull you down or something.
Sure, absolutely right. Yes.
So how can we deal with it, sir?
How can we deal with it? Okay.
Yeah.
So first is to understand in my own mind or in your own mind that there is no competition. One. Two, to understand that our capacities are different. If you notice very carefully in the example that I gave of the 4 students, the capacity of all the 4 students was different. They were not same. And when I asked you who is successful, you said number 3. Somebody said number 4. Nobody talked of number 1 and number 2, right? So our capacities are different. The moment we start competing, it's like a Maruti 800 competing with a sports car. Now a Maruti 800 can never compete with a sports car, and if Maruti 800 starts feeling I am in competition, it will always feel bad in its life. That's why competition is a belief system that gives us negative feeling and negative outcomes. So we need to do away with it in our own minds. That's first about our mind. We cannot control others, we can control our minds. The second part of the question is that if somebody is trying to pull me down, what do I do about it? And how do I manage it? How do I handle it? Now, this can be handled in 2 parts. One is the physical part or the outside part, and the other is the inside part, the part inside your mind. So in your mind, first, you have to start understanding that these people are probably jealous of me because they think that I have got more success or achievement, and therefore I am more happy, and they also want happiness. And therefore they are trying to get what I already have, right? Or they're trying to pull me down so that they can get there and they can get happiness and I should not, right? So that understanding will not make them villains in your mind. You cannot send negative energy to people who are trying to pull you down, right? And because if they're sending a negative, you have to clean your thought process, your belief system, and send positive energy from your side to nullify the negative coming from there. That is the first thing, right? And again, Raj Yoga, meditation, spirituality, all our practices help us do this. So that is what you have to do inside, and on the outside, whatever protection is required. I don't know if they're trying to delete your files from a computer, try and keep your computer in a safe place, or they're trying to, whatever they're trying to do, whatever you can do physically to protect yourself, we should do. But more important is the mental protection. And mental protection means that I should have a positive thought for the people who are trying to pull me down, not negative thought. If I have a negative thought, their negative energy will actually pull my mind down. And if my mind gets pulled down, then I will actually fail, which is what they wanted. So if you really don't want that, they want me to fail and I fail, then you have to keep your mental abilities high up. If your mental ability, like we said, soul or the mind is the root or the seed of the tree, if that is well nourished, then nothing can defeat us.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Got your point.
Thank you. Any other question, anyone? I think there are no more hands. I see Jyoti and Impreet, though I think both of them have already asked the questions. So it's also 9:45. We are beyond our time as well. So we'll end the session for today. And I hope to see you tomorrow as well. And we can have a chat, discussion, question, answers. So how many of you will come tomorrow? Say yes on the chat, please. Raise your hand or say yes. Okay, all right, fair. All right, whoever are not saying yes, you're 50-50 or you are occupied or you have some work or something, but try to come. I mean, listening to a different perspective, a different way of looking at things is going to help you live your life better. It's for you, right? Thank you so much. It was lovely to be with you today and look forward to meeting you again tomorrow. All the best and good night.
Good night.